Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for coming. My name is Ethan Emmanuel. I'm an eighth grader at Chatham Middle School. I'm a lecturer for Logistem, and I'm also part of the Lehigh Valley ARML team. Today, I am honored to be giving a presentation on an introduction to the American Regionals Mathematics League, more well known as ARML. And I'm also very honored to have a guest speaker here, Professor Don Davis, who is also the head coach of the Lehigh Valley ARML team, who will talk about the Lehigh Valley math team after my presentation. And then after that, we will do a Q&A. So So here's an outline of what I will talk about. I will first go over like what ARML is, and then how to register and what rules you need to follow to be on to compete in the ARML competition, as well as fun activities you can do at before the competition itself, and then the ARML competition itself, round by round. And so, first of all, what is ARML? It's a very competitive math competition designed for high schoolers, but middle schoolers and elementary schoolers can also compete. It is considered one of the most prestigious math competitions in the US, falling short to just HMMT February. And it's also a competition where students work together a lot, as it has 15 team members which is a lot compared to other math competitions, like Math Counts only has 4 and HMMT only has 8. And there not only is there are there team rounds, but there are also individual rounds where students will work individually. And there are also very challenging problems which a normal high schooler can't solve, and they'll need good math skills to solve them. Um, so the ARML registration, sorry, the ARML registration link is right here. You can copy it down right now. And the ARML date, it's almost always the first weekend of June. And as of 2025, there are 5 in-person sites listed right here. And the one that your team will be going to depends on whichever one it's closest to. For instance, Lehigh Valley goes to the Penn State site, and Exeter, which used to go to the Penn State one, now goes to New Hampshire. And the team policy is the students must all be high schoolers, elementary or middle, and they must be 18 years or older 18 years old or younger by December 31st of that year. And regional boundaries are established, so a person in New York can no longer be, or Virginia can no longer be part of the Lehigh Valley math team. And the team size, it's limited to 15 students, so 16 students can't be a team. But organizations can also send alternates to compete with other alternates basically an official team. Almost every organization sends a bus or two, depending on the team size, to the ARML competition, and the length of the bus ride always depends. For instance, the Lehigh Valley team usually takes around 4 hours to get there, while the Texas team takes about a whole day to get there. And even however long it is, it's always a good place and time to socialize, practice, or play video games or even cards. And here's a picture shown. Don, he just got off the bus. He looked like he had a pretty fun time there. And at the ARML competition, students will usually sleep in dormitories, although there is an alternative option of staying in a hotel with your parent or guardian. And you have to room with the person of the same gender that's also in your organization. And note that in Penn State, there's actually separate buildings for boys and girls. And for your dorm room, you get a key, which is shown in this picture on the top right, and it also comes with your breakfast card. You'll get a lanyard to put it all to keep it hanging. And the breakfast card, you need it so you'll get free breakfast on the day of the competition. And note that you have to bring a blanket, pillows, towels, but you don't need bed sheets since they're provided. And it's always good to bring a small fan to help you not get too hot because it usually gets hot at night. But this might be different at the New Hampshire site. And note that breakfast and lunch are provided on the day of the competition for all competitors and I think coaches as well. Um, Here's a picture of the breakfast. As you can see, there's all the good stuff like sausage, eggs, tater tots, and iced tea. And on the day before the competition, fun activities like basketball, ultimate frisbee, beach volleyball, ping pong, and karaoke are all available. For instance, here on the bottom left, it's a picture of my teammates at the competition. They were on the day before the competition. They created a song, like most groups do, and it's usually a parody of a pop song that's always math related, and it reminds everybody that we're not just math nerds, but also regular people, and it's always super fun. And at the Penn State site, Potion Low, the former IMO head coach, he gives a seminar, and you can get his autograph or a picture with him. It's pretty cool. Along with that, the Berkey Creamery is a very popular ice cream attraction at the Penn State site with overpriced but very delicious ice cream. And here's boba, which I know you all love since everybody does, and you should always get it. And now for the real game, we're going to get into the first round of Saturday. After breakfast, your team will move to a building, and the first round is the power round. There's a 60-minute time limit, and while some problems are computational, and if it says compute, you can just write the answer for, some problems are proof. And note that each problem, it's split into parts, and each part of each problem has a separate point value. And some problems get partial credit, while any problem that's worth more than 1 point, you can get partial credit for if you have a clear explanation, or very good ideas. And the organization is always key since your team is given a chalkboard. You can see who's doing which problem, whether each problem is solved, written up, or checked or not. And make sure to only submit one solution per problem, since if you submit multiple, the score that the lowest scoring of all your solutions will be the score you're going to get. And also, uh, previous problems can be cited in later problems, but not vice versa. And it's always good to have good handwriting that's readable so you don't give the ARML grader a headache. And you should always also be clear in your proof. Next up is the team round, which is also obviously also team-based. It's all short answer. There's 20 minutes for the round, and 10 questions total with one answer sheet for your team. Some strategies include to again use the chalkboard to see which problem is done, which problem is checked, to make sure each question is done at least twice by at least two different people. Since if only one person does the question, they get it wrong, but because of a stupid mistake, and then the whole team's mad at them. That's kind of the team's fault for not making sure it was covered twice. Questions always start from easiest at number 1 to hardest at number 10, because that's how most competitions work. But there's also no penalty for guessing because that's how ARML works. I don't know, like AMC does, and you will get a 3-minute and 1-minute warning from the proctor at the end. So don't wait till the last second to fill out the answer sheet. It's never a good idea. It's affected teams badly in the past. And next up is the individual round. I believe at all sites, Teams every single team takes it in the same room. You can't copy off your teammates, obviously. This is the individual rounds, and so there are proctors for each team, one proctor per team that's from a different one. So there are 10 questions given in pairs and 10 minutes per pair. Both questions are read before you can start to work on them. So there's an announcer who reads them. You can't pick up your pencil, but you can think about how you're going to work on the problem before you actually start to do it. And here's an estimated difficulty scale, but note that it actually varies every year. And also always make sure to check your work because you're going to be mad at yourself if you make a stupid mistake on a problem that you could have gotten, which happens to everyone though, unfortunately. And next up is the relay round, which the team kind of gets back together for. It's split into 5 squads of 3 with 6 minutes per round and 2 rounds. Each person gets a question, and the next person uses the previous person's answer to do theirs, which is given in terms of T as the number you will receive. And only the third person's answer matters in the scoring. So if the first and second person both make some stupid mistakes and then the third person somehow gets the right answer, then then they'll still get all the points. There are 2 times for the third person to submit an answer, once at 3 minutes, which is worth 5 points, and once at 6 minutes, which is worth 3. And you should make sure to always submit an answer at 3 minutes, because if you guess it correct and then at 6 minutes you realize that your answer is indeed correct, then you'll get 5 points rather than 3. Make sure the first and second pass are clear, so not to underline your answers, not to confuse numbers like 6 and 9 or 18 and 81, and only submit an answer at 6 minutes if it changed from your 3-minute answer. Now for the super relay round, teams get back together for this one. The whole team gets back together, but it doesn't actually count towards the total team score. There's a 10-minute time limit, and it's a similar format to the relay round, with 1 person in the middle and 8 people on either side of them. Starting from the left and the right, the first person gets their question, passes their answer to the next person, who uses it in their question. And once the middle person receives 2 answers from 1 answer from each side, then they'll use it to find their answer, as both are necessary. And in the final scoring, in the final overall, I think only the middle person's answer matters. So, and the fastest team will actually get a small prize. And all teams that get the answer correct, they get their name announced, which is always pretty nice. And here are some sample problems. This is from the 2021 individual round, and it was the first problem 1. The sum of the degree measures of the angles of a convex n-gon is 1 more than the number of the diagonals of the n-gon. Compute n. So in this equation, we see that the number of diagonals in an n-gon is always n times n minus 3 over 2. So a triangle, of course, has 0. And so we have to add 1 as given in the question. And the sum of the degree measures of the angles of a convex n-gon is always 180 degrees times n minus 2. To make our lives easier, we will expand n times n minus 3 into n squared minus 3n, and also multiply by 2, which gives n squared minus 3n plus 2 is equal to 360 times n minus 2. Note that we can factor the left-hand side into n minus 1 times n minus 2 is equal to 360 times n minus 2. And since n minus 2 equals 0 can't be a solution since all polygons have at least 3 sides, we can divide by n minus 2, which gives n minus 1 equals 360. And we're finally happy with our answer of 361. This next question is from the relay round. Let me actually label the sides. So let T be the number you will receive. An isosceles trapezoid has parallel sides of length 16 and 28 and non-parallel side of lengths of T. Compute the area of the trapezoid. Also note that these are altitudes that were dropped. So since this thing is a rectangle, this length must be 6, and since the two these two lengths must be equal. Since it's an isosceles trapezoid, both of them have length 6. By the Pythagorean theorem, the height must be root of t squared minus, my bad, 36, it's a little neat. And so, and the area of a trapezoid is always the average of the bases times the height, and since the average of the bases is 22, we get a final answer of 22 root t squared minus 36. And thank you all for listening to my presentation. And now I will pass the microphone to Don, who will talk about the Lehigh Valley math team.
All right, so are you allowing me to share the screen, full screen?
Yep.
It's good.
All right, good. Well, let's go. Sorry for the delay. I'm not very good with these things. And in fact, this is my first PowerPoint presentation ever. Thank Ethan for inviting me to give this presentation. I'm going to be talking about the history of the Lehigh Valley math team. And so what you see here is a picture of our team in 2022 in front of the University Center at Lehigh University. So now I go on the history. So I grew up in Central Ohio and graduated from high school in 1963. I was by far the best math student in my school, but there wasn't much more than that for me at that time. I believe I recall that I was 8th in the state of Ohio on some math test, which was probably the precursor of the AMC. But not much more than that. And luckily, I went to MIT for my undergraduate, and there I saw that there were a lot of smart kids who liked math and were good at it. And so I graduated from MIT as a math major and went to Stanford for my PhD, where I got a PhD in mathematics working in algebraic topology. And after that, I taught at Northwestern for 3 years, and then I came to Lehigh in 1974. So I retired from Lehigh a year ago, in 2024, after 50 years on the faculty. But throughout my career at Lehigh, I continued to do research in algebraic topology, and I still continue to do that. Also, of course, I taught calculus and topology at Lehigh. But in 1981, a new aspect to my work arose when a student in my calculus class suggested to me that we start a high school math contest at Lehigh. And so with his help, we did. And so the Lehigh Valley consists primarily of the cities of Allentown, Bethlehem, and Easton, Pennsylvania, and some surrounding communities. And so I wrote to all the high schools in the area, told them about the contest, and about 100 students came. I wrote a multiple choice test for the contest, and well, it went well. And so I continued to give the contest every year after that, and it grew gradually. And then in 1993, the contest was won by a girl for the first time, Joanna Miller. She was a sophomore at Southern Lehigh High School. And she suggested to me that we form a Lehigh Valley team in the American Regions Math League. Now, I had never heard of the American Regions Math League before, but she knew about it because she had been on the Central Pennsylvania team previous year as a freshman, and they didn't have any practices because they were so broadly dispersed. And she said, we could have practices if we had a Lehigh Valley team. And so we did, and her father's company provided some financial support. And so we went to the ARML contest, took 15 kids. I drove a Lehigh University 15-person van to Penn State. And well, then over the next decade or so, we gradually improved. And somewhere along the way there, Ken Monks started helping me with the coaching when his daughter Maria joined the team. During that time, there was a Philadelphia area team which was better than our team, but in after the 2004 season, their coaching, something happened to their coaching and they ceased to exist as a team. And so some of their kids had been uh, coming up to the contest, to my Lehigh contest during those years, and and we had one one Philadelphia area person had joined the team around 1999 through a contact with uh, through Pennsylvania State Math Counts. But basically, it was a all Lehigh Valley team until it, the Philadelphia area kids asked if, after their coaching fell apart, they asked if they could join the team. And so I said, sure, if you were willing to come up and drive all the way from Philadelphia to Lehigh for practices. And so we expanded to 2 teams that year. Um, and so I want to tell you how the names of our 2 teams arose. We had, at a practice, I wanted to separate the team into 2 roughly equal groups and put them in separate rooms to do the team round. But most of the best kids were in the second half of the alphabet, so I couldn't just say first half of the alphabet goes here and the second half goes there. So what I did was I said, okay, anybody whose last name is from H-O to T will be in one room, and everybody else will be in the other room. And I wrote H-O to T up on the board. And I looked at it and I said, oh, that could be the hot team, and the others would be the cold team. Well, it turned out that some of the students had very recently been at the Harvard MIT contest with the Philadelphia team, and um, they had eaten there at a restaurant in Harvard Square called the Fire and Ice Restaurant. So after I said hot and cold, they said, oh, how about the fire and the ice? And so that's how the famous names of the fire and ice teams arose. We found the catchy logo for the fire and ice team somewhere on the internet, and so our team has expanded over the years. It got up to 5 teams for a while, and now we have 4. And so we chose the other names for our teams after fire and ice. But what you see here is a quilt made from T-shirts of a girl from the team who was on for 6 years, and her mom made this quilt out of her T-shirts and gave it to me as a retirement gift. And then I didn't have a place for it in my house, so I donated it to the math department, and it hangs up on the wall in the Lehigh math department. So amazingly, we won ARML that year in 2005. The previous year we had finished 10th. So prior to winning, our best finish was 10th. So it was quite a surprise. And our team that year consisted primarily of students from the Lehigh Valley, but some from Philadelphia. One good thing that happened after we won that championship was that we got a major sponsor. Uh, Paul Martino was a former student of mine, and he had been very successful in Silicon Valley. And and he and I had stayed in touch over the years. And so he came to me and said that he would like to sponsor the team and that his wife worked for Google and that Google would match the contribution that Paul was giving. And so they have provided all the money that pretty much all the money that we've needed over the years. So it's a pretty expensive operation running a team. There's the bus transportation, there's registration for the teams, room and board, T-shirts, and thanks to the Martinos, we cover all the costs for our students. Well, oh, and now we have, beginning this year, we have a new major sponsor, which is SIG, Susquehanna International Group, which is a financial company in Philadelphia. Um, so after we won in 2005, more kids from Philadelphia area uh, wanted to join our team, and so we expanded up to 4 or 5 teams. And so then in 2009, 10, and 11, we won 3 straight years with many of the students were on the team for all 3 of those years. They were very young students when they came on in 2009, and they stayed with us. Um, and so Uh, that team was mostly Philadelphia area students. Now, um, at ARML nowadays, the scoring from the scoring room is live on people's phones if they know how to access it, and I think most people do. So there's really no suspense by the time the awards ceremony comes around. But back in those days, that didn't happen. That when they at the time of the awards ceremony, you didn't know what your place was. And what they did was they invited the top 9 teams. So they give awards to the top 9 teams. And so the teams at the Penn State site who were in the top 9 were all invited to come down on the floor of the Bryce Jordan Arena here. And and then they would read down in order from 9 to 8 to 7, etc. And so usually it was us and New York City and Phillips Exeter who would be down on the floor there. And so they they got down to they had done all except the top 2 teams, and then I think what they said was, um, well, the top 2 teams are on the floor here. They're the team from Lehigh Valley and Exeter, and the winner is, and then they paused, and then they said the team from the Lehigh Valley. And so you see everybody very excited when they announced that we had won because it really was a surprise, and that was the 3rd year in a row. Um, the announcement of this is on video on my website. That one of the parents uh, videotaped it, and you can see all of this excitement. If you go to my ARML website and click on photos and then scroll down to 2011, and you can see a 5-minute video of the announcement of the winner of the 2011 contest. The one good thing that we started back at that time, started in 2009, was the picnic. The day after ARML, every year since 2009, except for pandemic time, we have a picnic in a pavilion in a town south of the Lehigh Valley, and the parents bring wonderful foods, and we give out some awards, and there's a lot of room for kids to play frisbee, and there's playground equipment for the younger kids. It's an event for the whole family, and it's added a lot to the family feeling of the Lehigh Valley ARML team. Um, so since 2011, um, after we won in 2011, more and more students from New Jersey started wanting to join our team. Um, so there are certain areas of New Jersey that had a team. There was the Central Jersey Math League team. There was the Bergen Academy, Bergen County team. There was West Windsor Princeton High School team. But there were other parts of New Jersey that couldn't go to any of those teams. And so they came to us. And we developed a wonderful relationship with families from parts of New Jersey, from Ridge High School, Livingston High School, Pingree. Um, and 2 years ago, uh, Use Elite Education decided to form an ARML team. And they got ARML to agree that most students from 5 counties in New Jersey, that's Morris, Essex, Somerset, Mercer, and Union counties, most students from those counties who were not on the Central Jersey League uh, would be on their team and couldn't be on our team anymore. They did say that students who were already on our team could stay on our team if they wanted to, and thankfully all of them have stayed with us, and that's our strength. Um, but I don't think it's right for a profit-making organization like that to have an ARML team, but ARML said it was okay with them. So with that strong group from New Jersey, we won ARML again in 2024, last year. Here's a picture in the Bryce Jordan Arena, a part of the arena. Um, our Many of our teams are in the middle of this photo here. The arena goes around. There's about 1,000 kids at the Penn State site and a total of about 1,000 kids at the other 3 sites. Uh, and here's a closer view of our team. I think probably they're waiting for a question in the individual round here, I would guess. Um, so I give the contest to qualify for the team the beginning of March. And nowadays, the contest is just for people who want to be on the team and are eligible to be on the team. And this year we had about 100 students who took the contest in March. Prior to the pandemic, the contest was open to anyone, and we had like 300 or more students coming to the contest. And we had activities, and we had an awards ceremony, and we gave cash prizes. But that changed after the pandemic, and primarily because of supervisory restrictions imposed by Lehigh University that we just couldn't have as much supervision as they would require if we were going to have 300 people come in and all sorts of activities. So that's the way the contest is now. So after the contest, I select who's going to be on the teams, invite about 65 people, of which people who were already on the team are almost guaranteed of staying on. Um, but we invite more people, and then we have practice almost every Sunday during the spring. At a practice, we just practice the 4 parts of the ARML contest that Ethan described to you. We do not lecture on how to solve problems. Students work together in squads to solve problems, especially on the team and power round, and they learn from each other. And we post the solutions to all the problems that were used at the practice. We post those um, on the website immediately after the practice so that students can study those and improve that way. So I think that strategy of practices has worked very well for us. We also have an open practice in the each month in the fall, one in September, one in October, and one in November. Uh, Pretty much any student is welcome. Any student who is eligible to be on our team is welcome to attend those practices and see what it's like. And they also help us prepare for the Princeton contest in November. So for the Princeton contest and the Harvard MIT contest, generally we are allowed to take two 8-person teams. So only 16 of our students are allowed to go to those. And that's just because they can't accommodate too many students for those contests. Uh, Now, the 5 counties in New Jersey uh, are not restricted from being on our PUMAC and HMMT teams. However, it would really have to be a very extraordinary student from those counties to get to be on our team because we only have allowed to take 16 people and we've got a lot of really talented kids already who want to go. So anyway, if you're from those counties and you're really, really good, um, then contact me and we'll see about whether we would have a spot for you for the Harvard or Princeton or Harvard MIT contest. In 2.5 weeks, I'm going to be 80 years old. Um, I, I'm still doing, I believe, a very good job in preparing practices and doing all of the organizational work that's required to run the Lehigh Valley ARML team. And I enjoy it very much. I enjoy working with such talented and enthusiastic kids and getting to know the families. And I fully anticipate that I'll be uh, doing this for several more years as long as I'm healthy enough to do it. But the day is coming in the not too distant future when I might not be able to do it. And rest assured that we have 3 Lehigh professors, 3 Lehigh math professors who have been helping me with the coaching, and they are prepared to take over when I'm not able to do it anymore. But I really love doing it, and I want to do it as long as I can. So in conclusion, let me just show this picture, which is sort of why I do it. You can see this is our team at Penn State after the 2012 contest. Everybody's so enthusiastic, and working with a group of kids like this is really very rewarding for me. So I'll stop with that. Thank you.
Thank you, Don, for your presentation. We will now be open for a Q&A. I see. We already have a question in the chat. How is the region decided? How do you find out which team one can join?
Um, I guess I'll take that question. So um, you say, how is the region decided? So I'm assuming that you're from New Jersey, Grace. If your school is one of the schools in the Central Jersey Math League, you must be on their ARML team. If you are a middle school, they do not take middle school students. And if you are a middle school student from one of those school districts, um, you can't be on their team and you can't be on our team because we just inquired with ARML about that just within the past couple of weeks. Uh, if if you're in Bergen County, you can be on the Bergen Academy team. Uh, but if you are in those 5 counties that I mentioned, probably you have to be on, if you want to be on an ARML team and you're not on the Central Jersey thing, then you have to be on the Use Elite team. Um, Now, a couple of things. First of all, I intended to say, but forgot to mention, that there are parts in New Jersey who are ours and are not for Use Elite, and that includes Monmouth County, which is a very good county for us. And we've had a lot of students from Cherry Hill, from that area. Uh, you can be on our team. Um, Also, I was just reading the actual rules that were sent out when ARML made that decision, and it wasn't quite as bad as saying we can't take anybody from those counties. And I'm going to write more specifically about that on our Google group maybe next week. Uh, so that's sort of the way it is for students in New Jersey. If you're in Pennsylvania, if you're in the eastern half of Pennsylvania, then you would be on our team. Um, okay, Bridgewater is part of the Central Jersey Math League. So you will have, and if you're in middle school and you're in Bridgewater, you can perhaps be on the Use Elite team, but you cannot be on our team. Um, so lowest age of participant last year. So we've had 4 5th graders over the course of our history, and they have all gone on to be superstars for us. Uh, right now, Andrew Lynn is a 12th grader. He started with us as a 5th grader. He's been with us for 8 years, and he is one of the top students in the country. Um, we had a 5th grader last year, Alex Yao from Delaware. I should have mentioned Delaware. We've had a lot of students from Delaware over the years. I sort of consider that to be a suburb of Philadelphia. Uh, but Alex Yao joined us as a 5th grader last year and is very talented, 6th grader this year. So I would say 5th grade is the answer to that question.
Next question is, at what age do kids usually start preparing for this competition? It's kind of similar.
Yeah. Uh, I mean, if you, I guess I will say 5th grade would be the answer to that. If you're, I mean, you have to be a really accelerated 5th grader or 6th grader to, uh, the, the, the question that Ethan showed you is like the easiest ARML question there ever was, practically. The questions tend to be very hard. And so you can find ARML questions on the internet. Typically, you can find, for example, on the ARML website, arml.com, you can find last year's packet with all the questions and solutions from last year's contest. And so studying those questions is a good thing to do. Now, here's another good thing to do, I think. My contests, my Lehigh contests, are for the past 20 some years are on my website. So if you just Google Don Davis and Lehigh, you'll find all this stuff. Um, and practicing my contests is a very good way, I believe, to prepare for my contest, which prepares you for the Lehigh Valley, for the American Regents Math League contest, I would say. Um,
Next question is, can we talk to the ARML director so they can
yes.
change their
Well,
policy? We actually already tried that once, I think.
we've we have had 3 serious inquiries this spring from families contesting the ARML policy, and ARML ARML has not backed down on it. Um, but I mean, you can try. Uh, the one, the one thing ARML did for us is that one of the students on the team, who's a sophomore now, this is Alethea, um, her father wrote and said, um, well, my daughter is on the team. She was like grandfathered in, because she was already on our team, so she can stay on our team. She's from Milburn. Um, but her younger brother would like to join the team in a year or two. And so the ARML, and so we said, well, it would be ridiculous for her to come to our team and her father to bring it to our practice and have to take her brother to a different team. And so the ARML directors did allow agreed to let her brother join our team if he qualifies for it. So that gave me some hope that they're not, that they have some flexibility. Uh, but I mean, I think that the fact that the Youth Elite is a profit-making organization and that um, that they took away our relationship with families that in the area families in areas that had come to really love the Lehigh Valley ARML team, that the rule is wrong, but you can try, but maybe if they get enough complaints, they'll listen.
Next question is, if I attend the Pingree School, can I try out at Lehigh? I live in Bridgewater, which I know
Yeah. Okay.
it,
So I think not. But what county is Pingree in? The, it's
Somerset,
okay.
so
Yeah.
it's in one of the
Somerset.
five.
I think that so a couple of the counties, they so like for Mercer County, what the rule says is Mercer County, Princeton and Hopewell Township areas. So I'm interpreting that to mean that if you're in Mercer County, but you're not in the Princeton or Hopewell Township area, then perhaps you could join our team. And one of the other counties was like that too. I think it was Union County, but I believe that Somerset County, they said any anybody who lives in Somerset County is not allowed to join with us. I-
Okay. The next question is, how to join the Google group.
Wait,
Uh,
wait, I didn't understand.
how to join your Google group.
Oh, um, send me an email. Send an email to dmd1@lehigh.edu and explain why you would like to join the Lehigh group, and I will consider adding you to the group.
Okay, and where is the math club located? I think it's just located at Lehigh Valley, and I'm not sure if there's an online team though.
Well, wait, maybe he's talking about your club, the Logistem Club.
Oh,
I mean, we don't have a club. So the Lehigh Valley ARML team has practices at Lehigh University in the Department of Mathematics. Um, and Lehigh University is in Bethlehem, uh, Pennsylvania. But we don't consider it a club, we consider it a team. Um, but if you're asking about Ethan's club, then Ethan will answer that.
yeah. So it's usually it's basically our teacher. Her name is Young Usher. She usually has. Never mind, actually.
Yes, Essex County is one of the 5 counties.
Uh, Next question is, what makes you think a fifth grader is qualified for the team?
Well, if you're a fifth grader, um, try try yourself on my Lehigh math contest that I gave in March. And if you can score about 20 to 25 points, then you're probably qualified for the team. And I mean, it's really the fifth graders that have been on my team are extraordinary students. Sixth graders, um, usually we have several sixth graders each year. Ethan joined as a sixth grader. Of course, Ethan's rather extraordinary, but um, so, but I would say you can check your ability on my Lehigh contest. You can see the results on my website. It has the results of the contest from this past March. Um, it has the problems, the solutions, and the results. And so, if you can score like 20 to 25 points, there's a 100-point test. There's like um, five points worth five problems worth 2 points, five worth 3 points, five worth 4 points, five worth 5 points, and five worth 6 points, and that adds up to 100. And um, so most students don't get the hard problems right. Uh,
I believe that's everything. And let me see if there are any more questions. Um,
Is the practice in person, like in the spring every Sunday?
yes, yes,
Okay.
and you're expected. I mean, people miss a practice for various reasons, but you're expected to attend the practice unless you have some conflicting activity. And yes, all the practices are in person. During the pandemic, 2020 and 2021, our practices were virtual. But beginning in 2022, we've always have, I mean, this is, so the teamwork is the important part. Um, Working together, learning how to work together. We we excel at the team round. Last year at the ARML contest in the team round, we gained 15 points on the San Francisco Bay Area. So San Francisco Bay Area usually wins ARML in recent years. And this year we beat them by 17 points, and 15 of those were because we did so much better on the team round than they did. And the same thing was true at the Harvard MIT contest or the Princeton contest, one or the other, or maybe both of them, that we excel. I think it was HMMT that we beat all of the other teams by at least 10% on the team round because we learn how to work together um, to to solve problems and to check problems, and we get to know each other. And so that's a main part of our success is our teamwork and the large number of practices that we have. It's a lot of driving. I appreciate parents are driving an hour and a half to come to our practices. And I might add that the parents have a good time at our practices. Many of them do, at least. That there's a lounge where the parents sit, and it's so loud for hearing the parents talking to each other in the lounge there that they really get to know each other. They exchange ideas about um, what to do with your gifted math student. And so parents are happy to come, but it is a lot of driving, and I appreciate it.
I believe there's like a 1 hour time limit.
Mm.
Thank you all for coming, and I hope you all come. And also thank you very much, Don, for being my guest speaker. And
No.
I hope you all go to ARML this year because it's always a great experience.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Don. Thank you, Ethan.